All right, guys, good morning. It's the Cheddar Nut, and I'm going to make a follow-up video to hopefully help clarify a few points for different people that have posted asking for another video. I actually had to take the box out of my truck so I can make a video to show you how I put it in the truck. So I wanted to start and answer a few follow-up questions. Some of you have asked what the tool is I use to remove the inner liner of the console. That's this guy here. Actually using this end, not the other. It gets in behind the gripper and lets you pop the panel off without doing any damage. You have to be kind of forceful with it, but it does pop off. The console inner liner is held on with just brass clips. Next is a utility knife, which I use to trim the fitting. I'll show you in just a moment. This is just a ratcheting screwdriver, nothing special. It is a T20 bit, Torx 20 if you're looking for that. And these are the mysterious parts. So here is the 2015 to 17 part, or maybe 14 to 17, that does not actually meet the QI charge standard. GM has been installing this in multiple vehicles since 2015. They're pretty much aware of it. Your dealership may not be, but GM certainly is. So this is the guy that does not work. That's the business end. My prior videos show me opening up this cover and then taking those pieces out. It does work. If I put it back in, it does charge. Occasionally it will lose its little symbol, and you take it out and put it back in and it works again. But a lot of you have had the same effect I did, which is you get, nearly reliable charging. However, this is the new part, the 2018 part. You'll also notice that it is made by Anatel, but as you can see, it has logos on it from the QI people, which are the ones that certify the chargers. You can see that it also references LG Electronics. It does have its DC 14 volt power supply marked, negative ground, etc., etc. That's the model number. You can see all the different trade things. You can also see that it has like a long skinny area where the charging actually happens. You can see that this one is made by a company you've actually heard of, and then this is the company that makes the other charger as well. If you look on the back of the original charger, you see none of that, other than there are some 14s on there, but I can't say that that necessarily corresponds to any voltage. A couple of people have posted about voltage differences between the chargers. I recognize that that's possible, but let's all keep in mind that these are both wireless chargers. They're both made a year or so apart, so voltage differences between them are likely to be minimal, in that it's unlikely GM redesigned the entire truck to produce an additional volt or two for a charger. Now, that being said, you see that the back of the units do appear different. So you can see the new charger is thinner. It doesn't have all the metal stuff on the back, and you can also see that the plug is different, or I should say the receptacle is different, and I'm going to try to show you those as best I can. That is the factory plug on your old charger. This is the factory plug on your new charger. You can see that while they are both 6-pin, I guess it would be better to show you that way. They're both 6-pin. They are exactly the same width. They have a different pattern to the top that would prevent you from plugging one into the other. So I will show you the next modification that I make. And yes, for the record, it's snow, it's crappy weather here. It's been cold for a few days, so I didn't really want to do the video. All right, so this is the plug from your truck, and you can see that it is 6-pin. It has the same width as the new hole, but you also remember I showed you on the old unit that the top is shaped differently so it doesn't easily plug in. However, if you trim these plastic ears off each side of the top, on both sides, if you trim those back, you'll notice that I left a little bit at the end and a little bit at the end to give it sort of a ramp up, so it would still have grip since it's not going to snap into the factory charger, into the factory, the 2018 charger. But it pushes in until you get friction, and then you can't go any further, and it stays in there very firmly. In fact, I have to use a tool to remove it, to push it back out a little bit without damaging it. But it is the same 6 pins, and I do notice on both chargers, it appears to be the same. You notice it's 6 pins, but there's only 3 wires going into it. Again, unlikely that GM redesigned the entire truck. They just put a new end on, and I did get a chance to look at a 2018, and it also has 3 wires. So there you have it. A couple of you have asked how I got this particular part. So give you some heads up for dealing with your dealership. They cannot just randomly sort through parts very easily. However, almost every dealership puts the VIN number to the trucks that they have on their lot. So all I did was pop on to the dealership website, and I gave the parts guy a VIN number off of a 2018, and he pulled the console diagram up and pulled the charging module up, no problem. I paid $152 for this part, and I bought it at a GMC dealer. You do want to recognize, and some of you have posted this before, so I'll say it. Yes, if you change this part, you likely have no warranty on your truck for that particular part, but you're not voiding the warranty on your entire truck. It just means that if the charger fails, you can't go into the dealership and expect them to fix it when you've swapped it out for a newer part and made a little bit of an adjustment. So if you're the type of person that lays up at night worrying about your warranty coverage, then don't do it. But I'm not, and I'm a fan of things that work, and I want to have things be as they should be. So anyway, so that's the new part. I posted the part number. It's pinned in the comments below, but you can see that's what this is. So for those of you that have dealerships ordering you an entirely new armrest, I want to point out the armrest is not the issue. This cord and plug is part of your truck and does not come as part of this, so you're not really doing anything other than, if the new armrest has the module in there, then great, but I suspect that it may not actually even have the module in it. So in any case, the part you want to order is the one that I have pinned below. That's the part number for a 2018 GMC Sierra 2500. The parts guy told me it's the same part on a 1500. I didn't validate that because I don't have access to his computer, but it sounds reasonable. So let's flip, and I'll show you plugging this thing in, and then follow up with a couple of points. So hold on. All right. As you can see, just to give you, I don't want to bore anybody with the same stuff again, so you can look at my other videos for that, but you see the 4 screw holes here and here. This piece lines up exactly with them, goes back exactly in the factory positions, requires no modification, and your interior piece snaps right back over them. So let me see if I can throw this thing in the armrest, and then I'll show you putting these pieces back in. So here we go. Sorry. There we go. All right, so this is the 6 pins. All I'm doing is lining up the 6 pins. The piece fits in just fine. You line up your plugs, push it in. I give it a good snug. That's where I left those ribs sticking up from the old part. And then, as you can see, the piece lines up just like the old one. Torque's 20. I didn't have to modify anything on the truck or cut anything. other than, you know, to be fair, I did trim some plastic ears off the side of a completely hidden fitting. And remember from before, if you're nervous about warranties, I kind of feel like trying to be practical about that. I wouldn't blow off the warranty on the engine, but to blow off the warranty on a part that essentially doesn't work and I'm not likely to get it corrected, then I don't really see that as much of a risk. So, you know, make your own decisions, but I'm a person that likes stuff to work. So here we go. I'm almost done with the installation because you don't actually have to change anything on this part. All right, got that. Not as cold as it was yesterday. It was like 13 yesterday, so there's no chance of shooting a video, but it is 30 degrees, so I'm gonna start her up so everybody can see the all right, there we go. So this is the part I was talking about here. It's just brass clips that hold it on. I'm gonna kind of push that back in. The way to put it in is to sort of make sure the cable is routed, and then you push the pieces back in. Tricky. And you're sitting in it. There we go. The cord does need to go through the leg on that side, so that's why I'm taking a minute to fiddle with it. And as you put it in, the cord goes back into the piece. You can see that it just sort of self-aligns. You feel it clipping in. And that's it. The piece is now put back in. If I take my screwdriver out of the way, it locks and shuts, and you'll see that it's there. Now at this point, the charger is unaltered. I guess I could grab another phone and show you the charge, but when you put this part in, you get about you drop your charger on, you get about maybe a 3 to 5 second delay, and the charging icon appears on the dash, and it charges indefinitely. It doesn't matter if you hit a bump or slide it around, as long as you have it fitted in the spot, it works like a champ. So that's it. Hopefully that's answered everybody's questions, and I'll answer any more that I can. And then last disclaimer for the warranty folks, you know, if you're worried about your warranty and about your factory situation, then don't do it. If you can get a dealer to do it for you and they don't mind, I'd say go ahead. And if you're handy with a couple of really basic tools and you don't mind investing, you know, 150 bucks in your truck, then I think you'll see that this is a worthwhile adjustment. So, all right, thanks.